Hi everyone. Lately, I've been going through the comments section and I can clearly see that some of you are facing test anxiety at the moment, which is why I decided to create this video which addresses 10 points regarding test anxiety and gives you a fresh perspective about it. Now, it's common to face test anxiety, especially if you're preparing for a competitive exam like CAT, but at the same time, there is a need for you to check if the anxiety is coming in the way of hampering your mock scores. If it is, then it seriously needs to be controlled because some amount of anxiety is okay, it's acceptable, it's common, but at the same time, if it's coming in the way of your preparation or attempt, then it certainly needs to be controlled. Now, the first point I want to talk about is that हाथ पे हाथ धरे बैठ के कुछ नहीं होता है. Now, what that means is that the exam has been scheduled on a particular date. You know how many days are left before the exam. Whatever you are doing right now, is it contributing to changing the result that is there in your head? You must be thinking that you are going to score X percentile in that exam or X marks in that exam. There is a number that's there in your head which keeps you worrying. Now, the only thing you have to ask yourself is whatever you think throughout the day or whatever you do throughout the day, does it contribute to changing that number somehow? For example, you could ponder over how much marks you scored in the previous mocks and keep worrying about it, but will it do you any benefit? Instead, if you pick up those mocks and you analyze where you made the mistakes and you revise your formulas, probably that would help you out, and which is what you should be doing in order to change that number that's there in your head. So keep a mindful attitude wherein you always ask yourself the question whether it's changing that number for you, whatever you're doing. If it's not, then there's no point spending time on it. And if it is, then surely you should continue doing that. The second point I would recommend you to follow is to imagine your worst case scenario. Sometimes when we imagine what is the worst that can happen, we feel relieved if we accept it in our minds mentally. For example, in case of this exam, what is the worst that can happen? That you won't clear it. Imagine it, accept it. Imagine that you haven't cleared it. What would you do? Whatever your worst case scenario be, if you prepare a workout plan for it, a backup plan for it, you will feel less stressed. The only reason why you might be facing test anxiety is that you have made it a do or die situation for you. Nothing in life is a do or die situation. Try it out yourself. Imagine what would happen if you don't clear the exam. When I was preparing for my CAT 2017 exam, I had decided that if I don't clear the exam and I don't land at IIM Ahmedabad, Bangalore, Calcutta, I would drop that particular year, retake the exam next year, and meanwhile I will work on my profile or look for a job. I knew that it wouldn't be easy. Reattempting for an exam, preparing wholeheartedly for another year is not a simple task. But I had accepted the worst case scenario mentally. That allowed me to focus and put all my energies on the current exam and not think about what would happen if I don't clear it, because that I had already sorted out. The third recommendation is based on something that I read very early on in my life. It's a quote by Albert Einstein. He said that insanity is doing the same thing again and again and expecting different results. If you have been doing the same things over and over again and you are seeing no result or improvement in your mock scores or in the preparation of your exam, then I don't want to call you an insane, but actually you are doing the same thing to you. If you are not improving by following the same strategy, probably it's time for you to change your strategy. To give you an example, during my time, there used to be two kinds of reading comprehension passages that came in the CAT exam. One of them used to be lengthier and the other used to be shorter RCs. Now, I started attempting the shorter RCs first because I thought they were easier to crack. Sometimes those strategies worked for me, but a lot of times I saw, especially during the end of my preparation, that the strategy was not working for me. I had only 30 days left for me to tweak that strategy, but I didn't feel like 30 days were not enough. I thought that even though I have been making mistakes throughout, it is never too late to change that strategy. So I decided to rechange it. I decided to attempt longer RCs first, and that did wonders for me. Towards the end of my preparation, I started scoring well in VARC and my mock scores also stabilized. So, if you are currently using a strategy which is not working out for you, what is the worst that can happen? Why don't you change that strategy and try out something new? The fourth thing I would like to say is regarding plateaus. A lot of times during our preparation, sometimes we come at a certain point after which we don't see any incremental improvement. Let's say that you were working hard, you saw your mock scores improve till a certain level, but now you are seeing a plateau and you can't see any more further scope of improvement no matter how much effort you put in. This happens a lot of times and at different stages of our preparation. But here I would like you to remember the story of a cube, which has been mentioned a lot of times in the book Atomic Habits. An ice cube, when taken out of a refrigerator, does not melt instantly. It is at 25 °F when taken out from a refrigerator, and it takes some time to reach 32 °F, which is when it melts. So, while the process of going from 25 to 32 is taking place and the temperature is constantly rising, we don't see the ice cube melting. We don't see any result or outcome that is tangible in nature. But does that mean that at the back end there is nothing happening? No, it means that the progress is taking place, the results are just yet to show. If it has plateaued, that means that now the incremental improvement is yet to show, which should remind you of the story of the cube every single time you think of giving up. Don't give up because the temperature is rising. Similarly, your performance is going at the back end, it is just yet to show the results. The fifth point is regarding smartness. Any competitive exam, including the CAT exam, is not an exam of testing your hard work. It's an exam that tests your smartness. Now, in order to give you an example, if you score 50% marks in the CAT exam, that is half of what the total marks are, you will end up scoring 99 percentile in this exam. If the exam setter has set a paper in a way that makes sure that you don't have to get 100% of the questions correct or even attempt 100% of the questions, that means you are required to be very selective, pick the right questions, get them correct in the stipulated time. All this requires smartness and a lot of time management as compared to hard work or rote learning. So, if you are a person who feels that I don't have enough time left, or if I haven't covered the entire syllabus, how am I going to perform? One thing I would recommend is stop sizing up your entire syllabus. You don't have to finish the entire syllabus in order to crack this exam because the exam anyway does not require you to attempt all the questions. You just have to be smart enough to know which questions to attempt. I had made a video previously on this particular topic that explained what are the important chapters that reoccur. One thing you can do is select only the important chapters and prepare for them at the given moment. Another thing you can do is go through the past year papers or the previous mocks and check the kinds of questions that repeat themselves very often. Identify what those questions are, and half of your work is already done. So play with this exam with a lot of smartness. It has nothing to do with the time that is left for the exam. The sixth point is regarding planning. One of the most effective ways of handling test anxiety is to plan everything. Don't invest a lot of time in it, but take some time off your current schedule to plan out what you are going to do in the next few days. This does not require a day to day plan. This only requires a broader picture. To give you an example, you should know what material are you going to use in this time period that's left? How many mocks are you going to take in this time? What should be your schedule more or less throughout the day to be followed for the subsequent days? If you size this up, you will be sorted for the next few days and you won't have to decide on this parameter every single morning when you get up, because otherwise the moment you get up you will face mood swings and then you won't feel like doing anything. If you have already decided this pre-hand, then you would know at what time you are supposed to do what. To give you an example, I had decided that in the last month I would only be taking career launcher mocks. I had switched from AIMCATs because they were harder and I was losing out on confidence. So I decided to take only CL mocks in the last month. I had decided to take one mock every single day, but I did not follow it throughout. I obviously did not take one mock every single day. There were some days when I skipped taking a mock. There were also some days when I took two mocks instead of one mock. So that was a flexible schedule. So in the afternoon slot, which is what my cat slot was, I decided that every day I would take the mock in afternoon. After taking the mock, I would spend some time on analyzing the mock and checking where I made most of the mistakes and taking notes of them and adding them to my formula book. The subsequent day, immediately after waking up, I would revise my mistakes. I would also work on some concepts which were my weaker areas in case I would have identified them on the previous day. And then I would revise my formula book before taking the next mock. So this was my revision schedule that I had followed along with the mock taking schedule, and I had decided on this pre-hand. Seventh point would be to follow a revision schedule that optimizes how much you remember out of what you're revising. So scientifically, they say that if you revise on day number 1, 2, 7, 15, and then 30, you remember most of what you have revised. So you can probably try out this schedule for your competitive exam, and this way you are going to remember most out of it. To give you example of my revision schedule which I just mentioned, I had decided to revise before taking every single mock. But at the same time, there is a lot that you can do on the 1, 2, 7, 15, and 30 day if you spend more time on revising as compared to taking the mock or analyzing. So probably if you follow this schedule, it might optimize how much you remember on the D day. The eighth point is like an extension of the first point, wherein I mentioned that there's no point in just keep thinking about your past or the future. I want to emphasize on the fact that a lot of people end up thinking that if they haven't been scoring very well, there is no point in even taking the exam because they are ultimately not going to see the results that they expect. This kind of mindset is not very growth oriented. What I would request you to do instead is to forget whatever has happened. Don't carry any baggage of your past with you. Forget how much you have been scoring. Just take the mocks with the intent that you want to improve upon your current situation. In fact, if you have not been scoring well, this is the best opportunity for you to test and try and experiment with your mock strategies. You have got nothing to lose as compared to, let's say, a person who has been scoring 98 percentile. That person should be worrying. On the other hand, if you have nothing to lose, why not experiment with the different ways that are out there to see what maximizes your performance? The ninth point is regarding getting rid of any negativity around you. One of my batchmates from IIM Ahmedabad was sharing that during this last phase of her preparation, there were a lot of people telling her that it's okay if you don't get in and were demotivating her constantly despite the fact that she was scoring in her 80s. She decided to not talk with them after they had taken a mock at the same coaching institute. She decided to eventually work on herself and stop talking to anybody who acted as a negative force around her. And guess what? She ended up scoring 99.5 plus. Yes, it may sound like something that's not true, but trust me, if you maintain a positive attitude at this time, you're going to see wonders. So cut off every single person from your life who you think is adding or contributing any negativity to your life. The final point I would say is to envision your dream life. Sometimes when we don't see the goal or we don't see that the goal is possible to be achieved, we just give up even before giving up. So don't do that. Imagine what is the life that lies at the other side of the table. And if you work hard in just these days that are left, just a few days that are left, what is the dream life that lies on the other side of the table? When you envision that dream life and when you want that life earnestly, then you would just focus on your present and put in as much efforts as are required in order to go to that part. But if you can't even imagine it, then you're not working wholeheartedly. You don't have your entire heart in this preparation journey. You need every single part of your body to be in this preparation journey to see the results. And first of all, your mind should be able to envision that dream. So these are just 10 small points from my side in order to help you face test anxiety. If you are still facing it and you want to talk about it, please make use of the comment section. I am all ears to hear what you're going through. Let's overcome it together. Thank you so much for watching this video. Hope you prepare well and land at any place you want to. Thank you for watching again.